I started working there very eager and ambitious, but just a few months into it, I started getting the feeling that something wasn't right. It wasn't very long afterwards that I decided the job just wasn't for me. 여기서 중요한 부분이 이 부분이에요. Just a few months into it. 이 표현을 모르면은요. 어떤 식으로 영작을 할 가능성이 높냐면 A few months after I started working there. 이렇게 얘기를 하면은요. A few months into it 라고 하면은 앞서 얘기한 이거에서 이만큼이 지났을 무렵, 이만큼이 진행됐을 무렵. Wow, this is a really good translation. Very good translation. Something I couldn't even come up with. 자, 그래서요. 이 into it를 또 어떤 식으로 쓰느냐. So this is just a conversation that I just made up right now. Are you still reading that book? Nope. Why? I think I was only a few chapters into it, but it was obvious it wasn't going to be good. I was only a few chapters into it. So are you still reading that book? Nope. Why not? Why not? I think I was only a few chapters into it, but it was obvious that it wasn't going to be good. 이 표현을 안 쓰고요. 다른 식으로 한다면 다른 식으로 하는 게 틀리다라는 게 아니에요. I just want you to learn this expression, okay? Let's see what else. Oh, you're back already? You're back already. 벌써 돌아왔어? I thought you were at the gym. 너 그 헬스장 간 거 아니었어? Oh, I suddenly remembered I had to do something. 갑자기 해야 되는 게 하나 생각나서. Did you finish your workout? 운동은 다 했어? No, I was only half an hour into my first exercise. Half an hour 제가 또 잘못 썼나요? 그러네요. Half an hour. Sorry about that. Half an hour. You're back already? I thought you were at the gym. Oh, I suddenly remember I had to do something. Did you finish your workout? No, I was only half an hour into my first exercise. I was only a few sets into my first routine. Just a few years into that relationship, I now know it's not good for me. About a year into the relationship, I realized it wasn't good for me. About a year into the relationship, I realized it wasn't good for me. A few months into the job, a few months 복수형으로 해야 되고요. A few months into the job, I realized it wasn't good for me. Okay. Right. 이거는 좀 예외적이에요. 그냥 사는 거는요. 이 표현을 안 써요. 제가 항상 하는 얘기가 있죠. 우리가 모든 것을 수학적으로 문법적으로 이렇게 볼 수는 없고요. 그냥 그들이 어떻게 언어를 활용하는지를 보면서 이제 배우는 건데 적어도 제 경험으로는요. 물론 이렇게 얘기를 하면 이해는 가능할 수는 있는데 어색해요. 살기 시작한 지 얼마쯤 지났을 때라는 이 맥락에서는 이 into라는 표현을 안 써요. His speech was so moving. He was only few minutes into it, and everyone was already in tears. For example, his speech was so moving. He was only a few minutes into it, and everyone was already in tears. Does that make sense? 그리고 이 into 뒤로는 보통은요. 이것도 어디까지나 저희가 항상 중요하게 생각하는 게 문법적으로 어떻게 하는 게 가능하냐 가능하지 않냐를 따지는 게 아니라 어떻게 활용을 하는지 그 기준이 가장 중요해요. 제 경험으로는요. 이 자리에 동명사는 안 써요. 잘. 동명사를 수학적으로 생각하면 여기에 넣어도 될 것 같잖아요. 명사 자리니까. 안 그래요. 잘. 명사는 많이 와요. a few minutes into his speech. Just a few days into our trip. 그런데 아까 누가 하셨던 것처럼 just a few months into living 어디 이렇게는 얘기를 안 해요. 해석은 정해져 있지 않아요. 무슨 의미인지는 알죠. His speech was so moving. He was only a few minutes into it. 그렇다는 얘기는 뭐예요? 읽기 시작한 지 몇 분 지나지 않아서란 얘기죠. 이것도 이렇게 물론 해석을 할 수는 있죠. 해석할 수 있는데 this is not the only translation. I was talking fun with her half an hour into it and I thought we'd become friends, but it was just me. So, for example, if it was a date, 그녀와 그 자리가 데이트하는 자리였어요. 또는 면접 자리였어요. 아니면 그냥 회의하는 그런 회의 자리였어요. 그러면 이게 돼요. So, we met up and we started our meeting. 또는 I had a date with this woman. But just a few hours into our date, 뭐 이런 식으로요. She was so angry, so he tried to soothe her feeling. 이것도 어울리진 않네요. 누구로 하여금 기분을 풀어주는 것을 어떠한 그걸 하나의 과정으로 보기에는 좀 그렇게 인식을 안 하는 것 같아요. 적어도. 네, 이래서 여러분이 어떤 표현을 배웠으면 여기저기에 적용시켜 봐야 돼요. 이런 맥락에서는 어울리고 이런 맥락에서 안 되는구나. 이러면서 서서히 이제 모양을 잡아가는 거예요. We are only an hour into this class. We already learned a lot. Very good. This is a good example. It's a good example. We're only an hour into this class. Perfect example. We're only an hour into this class. We already learned a lot. I can usually tell if a movie will be good. Just 5 minutes into it. Does this make sense? I can usually tell if a movie will be good just 5 minutes into it. 뭐 이렇게 할 수 있고요. 뭐 얼마든지 표현 방식은 다른 게 있어요. I can usually tell if a movie will be good in the first 5 minutes. 뭐 이렇게 할 수도 있고요. I can usually tell if a movie will be good very early into it. 사실 오늘 요 얘기를 제가 해야 되겠다라는 생각이 들었던 게 몇 주 전 얘기였을 거예요. 몇 주 전에 저희가 실시간 강의를 하면서 어느 분이 실시간 강의에 이렇게 일찍 참석하는 것은 처음이에요. 라는 얘기를 영어로 하셨었는데 아닌가? 한국말로 하셨었나? I can't remember. 저걸 얘기를 해야 될까 하다가 그때 얘기를 못 했던 거거든요. This is my very first time to be in this early this is the first time how early I attend. Okay. I'll give you my version. This is my first time here so early into the stream. This is my first time here so early into the stream. I got a call from a stranger, and just a few minutes into the call, I noticed that it was kind of phone scam. Oh, okay, very good example. Very, very good example. I got a phone call from a stranger, and just a few minutes into the call, very, very good. I talked with him just a few hours. Into it, I feel we will be good friends with each other. 자, 이거 같은 경우는요, 그 약간의 맥락을 만들어 줘야 돼요. 예를 들어서, I had a short, conversation with him. Just a few exchanges into our conversation. I was pretty confident that we would be good friends. Thank you for the example, 순비바리님. I had a short conversation with him. Just a few exchanges into our conversation. I was confident that we would be good friends. I decided to stop eating cheese. cheese는 아마 복수형이 없을 거예요. I was a little amount into it. I got to know it was... no. 뭔가를 먹었던 기간을요. 만약에 그게 뭐 2주 동안 받은 처방된 약이잖아요. 그러면 돼요. Okay? 예를 들어서 I was just a few weeks into my prescription. 이런 식으로요. 처방약을 복용하기 시작한 지 뭐 2주쯤 됐을 무렵에 뭐 이런 얘기면은 괜찮은데 단순히 어떤 음식에 대한 얘기면은 no.